And if I perish, I'll perish. But I'm going to go talk to the king, and I'm going to talk for our people. This message gets sent back to Mordecai. The fasting starts. After the third day, she goes into the king's room and presents herself, and he sees her, and he allows her to approach. She got her opening. He allowed her to speak. Once she was allowed to speak, he told her pretty much, she was very favored by the king. She was pretty. She was a queen. That's who we picked. And he told her, I give you anything you want, essentially. What is it that you want? She said, I'm going to tell you what I want. But first, I'm going to feed you. We're going to have a feast. I'm going to have a party for us. And she invited the one advisor, Haman, only to this feast besides the king. So they had this feast. The king asked her what she wanted the feast. She said, I'll tell you tomorrow. We're going to have another feast tomorrow. So the following day, the feast is over. Haman goes home to tell his wife what's happening. He's excited because he's the king's advisor, and he's revered by the king, and he's the only one that Esther invited to the feast besides the king. So he's thinking, I'm ready up there now. So he goes home, he's telling his wife on his way home, he sees Mordecai still alive, still not really stressed that his people were ordered to be killed. It angered him, and he really digged into that. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna put him on the stake myself if I have to. The next day, the king had people reading his scrolls to him. And that time, that's how they kept records. So he had a record of things that had happened. It's just how they entertained themselves. There was no TV. He had his scrolls read to him. He was restless. So the scrolls read to him, and he finds that there's someone who discovered a plot to kill him, the king, and was never rewarded. There were 2 guards that were trying to kill the king. The plot was uncovered, and he wasn't rewarded. And that person who uncovered this plot was Mordecai. So Haman comes back for feast number 2, and the king asks, because that's his advisor, if there's someone that you really want to honor, you want to give them the best praise because they did something that, this guy saved my life, I want to show him the utmost honor, what would you do? And Haman tells him, I would give him king's robes, give him a king's horse, and have him walk through the town so everybody has to honor him. But Haman was very self-involved. He just knew the king was talking about him. He knew that he was going to be on a horse through the town. So the king says to him, okay, everything you just said, go get Mordecai. So Haman himself has to walk Mordecai through the town. The guy who wants dead more than anyone because he wouldn't honor him, he has to give him that honor. They come back, they have this feast, and again, the second feast, and the king, again, he wants to know from Esther, why are we having this feast? What is it that you want from me? She says to the king, I want you to save my life. I want you to save my people. And he wants to know, how are you in danger? What's wrong with your people? And she tells him, Haman, he put out a decree. That angered the king. Haman's trying to kill his wife. He's trying to kill this advisor of him. And essentially, that ended in Haman being put on the stake and killed because his plot was uncovered, and Esther's uncle Mordecai was then honored by the king, and he was allowed to put out a decree to say that first decree, let's ignore that. If anybody doesn't ignore it, you have the full authority of the king to defend yourselves. So the Jews were given the power to defend themselves against anyone attacking them, which was essentially what Esther wanted to accomplish. She saved her people. The story of Esther for me is really special because she revered God and trusted him. She took those 3 days to pray and fast, and she did that in unity with her people and believed that doing that would make a difference for them. And also it was really an important story for me because she was in a position of power. Okay. And we sometimes get put in these positions and we don't know why. She was put in that position to save her people. That's right. And we don't always understand why we're favored or why we get somewhere. And you gotta use that. You gotta use that favor that you're giving. You can't just take advantage. Come on, there for a reason. para mí, porque en estos tiempos es importante defender a la gente que no puede defenderse. Y eso es lo que Dios quiere para nosotros, eso es lo que nosotros necesitamos hacer. Thank you, everyone.